Hello everybody, thanks for joining in today. I had a interesting trip up to Billings, Montana uh, late yesterday afternoon. The roads were windy but no snow at all. So I made my 2 deliveries in Billings, Montana and made it back as far as Sheridan, Wyoming last night. Spent the night at the rest area there in Sheridan. It snowed overnight. I woke up this morning, my truck was covered with snow, and for about the first, 15 or 20 miles, it was almost whiteout conditions. I could see the road, and it was a really interesting phenomena. I hope that the dash cam would pick it up. Sadly, whenever I got back to it and tried to show it to you, it was so white that really all you saw was a white screen. With my bare eyes, I could see the road and I could see the stripes on the road, but the snow was blowing on the road that almost looked like boiling snow. It was a really unique sight. But anyway, I thought I would show you a little bit of Wyoming. This is on I-90, just south of Sheridan. This is pretty typical. This section of video, the reason I'm showing it to you is this is pretty typical for the whole state of Wyoming. There's very few trees. You will find patches where there are patches of pine trees, and when you get close to a waterway, you will start to see other kinds of trees that I assume are maple or something like that. Anyway, much bigger trees. None of them have leaves right now. The pine trees, of course, are evergreen, and they're still green. But for the most part, you don't see a whole lot of trees in Wyoming. It's open grassland, rolling hills. I would venture to say that yes, these are mountains. Some of the mountains out there, especially when I'm comparing things to East Coast. I'm a Florida native, so I grew up on the flatlands of Florida, so anything above 50 feet is a mountain to me. But anyway, you get the drift. The roadways were real clean out here this morning. I passed one snowplow. Truck drivers call those salt shakers. By the way, a lot of the people that watch my videos are friends from Florida and from Georgia and North Carolina and Tennessee. I have family all over the country, but mainly out of the South. So a lot of the things that I show you and I'm explaining to you, for those of you that live on the West or out in the West, it's no big deal. But for Southerners and for East Coasters, this is something they've never seen before. So the clouds that you see up in the sky there, they are dumping snow. I ran through several patches where it was coming down really heavy. And you see the sign I just went under there said wind gust of 40 miles an hour. I'm empty at this point. I have delivered my load in Billings, Montana, and I'm turning around and coming back, headed to Cheyenne, Wyoming, to the distribution center there. So anyway, you can see there's quite a bit of snow. There's some of the hills, mountains, whatever you want to call them. I believe this is the split there that goes over to Gillette, but we deliver to Gillette also, which is in Wyoming. But anyway, this is pretty typical grassland. You see a lot of cattle, a lot of cattle trucks on the road. This time of the year, I guess people, rather than let their animals go through the winter, they send them to the slaughterhouse, and you see a lot of trucks that carry animals on the road as well. A lot of grain trucks are on the road right now. And a lot of dry vans and a lot of refrigerated loads hauling food around. So anyway, this is a north and south, and it's pretty typical here. You'll see warning signs. I just passed one about chain laws and that kind of thing. But this was a beautiful day. Once I got out of the heavy snow this morning up there in Sheridan, the rest of the day was just a beautiful ride back down to Cheyenne. As you can tell, everybody on the road passes me. I'm doing a little less than the speed limit. Speed limit 70 for trucks. I'm doing 68, so all these other cars and a whole lot of big trucks pass me. So again, I would rather be safe and unhurt than to be in a hospital somewhere hurting or beat up and banged up anyway. But I have had several people that have signed up for CRETE. They have come from other companies and have signed up for CRETE. I have made the phone calls to them and had brief talks with them and thanked them for signing on. If you decide, or if you're one of those guys that's looking for another company to drive for, every company out there has its good points and its bad points. CRETE is a mega carrier. They have their own way of doing things, and you're really not going to do anything to change it. But once you learn to kind of do things their way, it's really a good company to work for. I will say this, they do listen to you. A lot of times they will make changes based on what you tell them. If you have a legitimate complaint and you have a legitimate solution for the complaint, a lot of times they will, it's amazing that they'll actually go your way. So they do listen to you. The equipment, they really, really take good care of it. Like anybody else's trucks, you're going to have breakdowns, you're going to have things that go wrong. These are mostly Freightliners that are out here. They do have a few Kenworths that are on the road, and they do have a few of the legacy Internationals that are still out there. However, I think those are mostly owner-operators right now. They bought them from CRETE, and they're driving those. I had an issue with my truck that as soon as I would pop the brakes on, my secondary air tank would just go to nothing almost instantly. And I looked and I hunted and I got out there with a water bottle that had soapy water in it trying to find the leak, and I could not find the leak anywhere. The shop mechanic here at Cheyenne knew exactly what it was, and it was a warranty issue, and he went by a Freightliner and got a new part and put on it. It was they have a air-operated fan hub on these Freightliners, and the air was leaking to that, and it was actually leaking inside of the engine, is the reason I couldn't find the leak. I had no clue that the fan clutch was operated by air either. But he put a new one on yesterday morning, and it absolutely solved my problem. So I no longer have an air leak. Anyway, CRETE is a stickler about maintaining their equipment, keeping the oil changes when they're supposed to, and doing not only annual inspections, but they do periodic, like quarterly inspections as well on your truck. And belt changes, tire changes, they have absolutely no problem changing out a tire if it shows any kind of problem at all. Of course, I put a lot of miles on my truck, so they keep really good rubber on your truck. The trailers, they also do quarterly inspections on them, and it's like an annual inspection, but they do it 3 times a year, so, or 4 times a year. Anyway, they maintain the trucks and the equipment really well, so you're not going to have those issues. If you do have an issue with a truck, they will give you absolutely no flack about getting the truck fixed. They want it absolutely in tip-top condition. Of course, they expect you to maintain the truck as well, to do your part to take care of it and let them know if you have issues with it, and let them know as soon as possible so they can get the issues fixed. Anyway, thank you for those that have signed up. It put a little change in my pocket and helped my retirement fund out. So I really appreciate it. If you're looking for a company to come to work for, CRETE has really been good to me. They've been, I'm making really good money here. Right now I'm making 70 cents a mile plus 6 cents a mile extra that Walmart is paying for those that come out here to Cheyenne and run loads for them in Cheyenne. Of course, you got snow days and you got wind days and you got stuff like that, but they're making up for it, and they're paying the extra 6 cents a mile. So right now I'm making 76 cents a mile, which is not bad. And I am driving my clock out every week. I run out my 70 today. I'm picking up a little bit of time, and I'm going to run on recaps for the next 2 or 3 days because they've had some wind days and some bad weather days where they couldn't run, and they're trying to make up for it and get all the stores stocked before that happens again. So anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this. My driver code is HODKE. Please let them know whenever you sign up. Thanks again.